What is going on, guys, and welcome into the video. Well, the market just roared to life yesterday with Jay Powell essentially saying he will look at slowing the rate hikes and he won't hike us into oblivion. And Wall Street rejoiced. The recession is canceled and the Santa Claus rally is now confirmed. And the pumpers here on YouTube are even more excited because they can go back to pushing trash stocks down your throat instead of actually doing due diligence or teaching you how to actually invest. So those stocks will just, go to the moon now every week so they can make big money again and seem like geniuses while just looking at charts and kind of drawing random lines. I don't know. And maybe even the crypto guys are rejoicing too because maybe they can keep that Ponzi scheme going up just a little bit longer if the market rallies hard. All is right with the stock market, or is this all just one giant setup? So what is next? And just as important, or maybe even more important, how can you screw it all up fast and not even know it until it's already happened? Well, I got you covered on all of that as we will discuss it as well as we navigate this very unique time in the market that is equal parts exciting and scary all at the same time. I just ask in exchange for you to gently tap that like button and consider subscribing too. It's super easy to do if you like the truth without the hype. So here are the top questions I get about investing in stocks. How do I know when to buy so I'm already invested before the big run up like yesterday, so I avoid that FOMO feeling that I have right now and can instead enjoy the green day? How do I do actual due diligence on a stock since just watching a 15-minute video clearly doesn't work? And how do I get an actual value for the stock or tell if it's overvalued or undervalued? How do I just overcome my fears and become a confident investor ready for anything? And where do I find all this information organized in one place with a full support team? Well, I got you covered as there is a solution for everyone as evidenced by the over 1,000 members who are part of the Market Insiders private group, which is the ultimate wealth building community full of people just like you changing their financial futures. And the Cyber Week sale ends this weekend to lock in your discount forever. We have hundreds of different tutorials, lessons, and 5 full complete courses for you to take to learn how to plan and do evaluation. And it's also where we have lessons on mastering your money, building up passive income and retiring early, and being financially independent. And we even have a real estate course now for you to take. You also get direct access to me anytime to answer your questions, and we have live Q&As. You get my watch list complete with price targets, tons of tools, see all my buy and sell alerts. You basically get everything and a ton more. So get in on the action and make yourself a better investor today using the link down in the pinned comment for all the details before that sale ends. All right, so how many of you guys out there saw substantial green in your portfolios yesterday? I know many of you that bought the dip in June and July, or maybe even as late as in October, to average down or start some positions are seeing big time green in your portfolios. That is what planning, preparation, and execution does for you, and nicely done, by the way, for all you guys that did that. But this type of run may just kick off the Santa Claus rally as kind of all the factors are lining up perfectly for us to get that exact rally. But, whoa, that also introduces new challenges and new problems you may not have seen before, and you need to be ready for it. Now, I'm not saying we're out of this or calling the bottom or anything else like that, so please just don't take it that way. You guys know I don't like that stuff, and that sort of crap is just trash. But the factors are lining up nicely for Santa to come to the stock market, so we need to talk about these new problems and challenges. So, how many of you guys feel like you have missed it with some stocks already? Or what about kind of feeling dread or just wrong to buy now when a stock was so much cheaper just a month or two ago? And for example, let me give you one here. Buying Google now around $100 after it could have been had for 80s just a short while ago. You know that feeling when you're buying there. And what about the feeling of how to buy in a market where your patience may not be rewarded like it was before, where if you waited, you basically got a cheaper price, so you were rewarded. Now it's probably going to seem like if you wait, it's going up more and you will pay a higher price. Basically, we have gotten so used to buying a red market that it seems like that strategy to buy the red market won't work during this rally if we get it for the rest of the year. Well, I'll be honest with you guys, I have no idea where the market is going, and neither does anyone else, despite all the market timers telling you otherwise with their 469 predictions made to date, all of which have been wrong, but this time it's going to be right. I guess eventually they will be right if I guess 469 times, but that also means you were wrong 468 times. So I don't know. Take it for whatever you want. Anyways, all I can speak to is how to execute the same strategy we have been executing this downturn in this market now, and in the bull market that will follow, guys. That much I'm confident about. Not only will this strategy work, but we will have a bull market that will follow all this mess. But you can screw it all up. But hey, we'll talk about that in a minute here, but let's start with what to do now. The concept is actually the same in a down market, just applied to a more bullish market, which kind of seems confusing, but really it's not, guys. And I know that seemed confusing the way I just said it, but anyways, just follow me here, guys. It's almost a weekend. I need help. When it's doom and gloom, you need to zoom out to see the light at the end of the tunnel and to see the opportunity. And guess what? You need to do the same and zoom out on these green rallies too, so you can see how far away we are from your actual goals and see how cheap stocks actually are. And I will use Google as an example. So how many of you all would have given anything to get Google under $100 at the beginning of this year? I don't know, I'm raising my hand because I definitely would have done that. But guess what? We got it even better. We were able to add shares multiple times in the $80 range. But now a lot of people feel like they missed it, or on the flip side, they feel like they want to wait and buy at 80 or whatever that lower price is that has them hung up from seeing Google in the 80s in the first place. Now, maybe that's because you added multiple times in the 80s like I did, and many others in our group did, and many of you guys out there did, and it just feels wrong to buy now at around $100. Like you're making bad buys because your earlier buys were so good. Don't fall for that at all. You are focusing on the past and not the present opportunity and where it fits in kind of the grand scheme of things of your plan. If it truly is a $180 stock based on the valuation in your opinion, why the heck is buying at 100 suddenly bad? I mean, to me, it's not. It's just your mindset and looking back instead of forward. Hindsight always wins. You will find mistakes because nobody makes the perfect trade despite what anybody tells you. Nobody buys the bottom perfectly despite what anybody tells you. The only person who ever wins in the end and does things perfectly and times the bottom perfectly is hindsight. Look forward and zoom out and look at your plan. Where did you have Google's valuation in 1 year, 3 years, and so on? If it's 100, then obviously it may not be a buy for you or even the right stock for you. But if you see $200 based on your growth estimates and the valuation you placed on it, why is $100 suddenly a bad price? The strategy of buying the dip still works even if the stock is not on as big of a dip as it was before. And if you still aren't comfortable with any of that, then just execute a simple DCA. There is nothing wrong with that. That is a great time-proven strategy. But choosing to sit out because you missed it on a stock that is still sitting at a 50% discount is not a move I would make personally. And simultaneously, you need to keep your long-term goals in mind again by zooming out and looking at the big picture and your goals long-term. Now, yes, I agree. It is great to see progress on your goals. I agree completely there. But if you set out to lose 100 pounds, for example, seeing the first 10 pounds fall off is exciting for sure, but you still have 90 pounds to go, so you need to stay focused. There will be trials and tribulations and setbacks on the way to getting those last 90 pounds off. It just doesn't fall off every week the same way, the same everything. There will be hurdles and obstacles, and you will take a step forward and then 2 steps back at times. That's just part of the journey. And the same applies with the stock market. We are 10 pounds into a 100-pound journey, and it will not just be one sustained rally week after week after week until we get there. I wish it was that simple, but it just isn't, guys. There's going to be bumps in the road. So how the heck can you screw this all up and not see it coming ahead of time? Now remember, this is all coming from my own personal experience and the experience of watching other investors make these mistakes too over the past 20 years. I'm not criticizing. I have been there, done that more often than I ever care to admit, and I struggle to this day sometimes with all this. So after being beaten down for so long, all of a sudden you turn green and we have a Santa Claus rally, or you get a great earnings call or a nice rally in the setup like you got yesterday, and the good idea fairy shows up and she is saying,
take some profits. We still aren't out of the woods yet, so it will probably fall again. Sell and enjoy your gains and just buy again. I mean, it's easy to do. Look at how easy it is.
Your plan says you think the stock will be 200% higher from the lows in 3 years, but now you are tempted to sell and take a 20% or 30% gain instead. Now that's fine if it's a swing trade, that may make perfect sense. But if it's a long-term hold, I personally would not do that, as I have played that game before, sacrificing a 7-figure gain for a $600 profit. That's what it cost me personally to take profits on Apple back in the day, and it still hurts today. That's why I give you guys that example. And if you think you will just sell, take your gains, and buy the dip and kind of rinse and repeat, you are simply market timing or poorly executing a swing trade. Doesn't mean you won't get away with it at the beginning, but eventually you're going to get burned doing that. So to me, That doesn't sound like the best idea either. You spend weeks studying, creating a plan, laying it all out, and then executing. And sure, I agree plans change, but plans shouldn't change just because you saw a nice run in your stock. Just like your plans shouldn't change if you get a dip in your stock. Now, I agree, maybe it's a low conviction play caught up in a hype rally like last year, then it may make sense. But otherwise, you are playing a losing game, and actually the statistics back me up on this, that you're playing a losing game trying to get in and out of positions. So instead of selling and then having to create a new plan and a place to put the money, why not spend that time focusing on increasing your income so if that great stock does dip again, you can add more and still get to keep your original shares and avoid a tax hit and all the other mess that comes along with it. But more importantly, you will be relieved of the pressure and the stress of getting in and out of positions and becoming a trader and becoming a poor trader at that because you're not even using the right concepts in order to be an effective trader. You cannot do both. You are either a trader or a long-term investor. Now, sure, you can have money you trade with and others that are long-term holds, but if you are thinking about turning long-term holds into trades, you might want to look real hard before doing so. Keep this in mind over the next month if we get that Santa Claus rally, so the good idea fairy doesn't show up and wreck your portfolio. And don't forget to lock in your huge Cyber Week discount for the Market Insiders private group, and you get to keep that price for as long as you stay a member, but make sure you take advantage of it because it does end this weekend for that. And click this video here to see my plan to make huge money during this downturn. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.